Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jennifer Brown, where we are talking about pageant prep, especially when you're older, and lifestyle transformation. So I really struggled with the idea of making this video. I wasn't sure that I wanted to put my business out there, but I finally decided that I can't have a channel that's about body transformation in large part without being transparent with you guys about this. So today's video is about the breast reduction surgery that I just had. I decided to get breast reduction surgery not because of the pageant. I've been wanting to have breast reduction surgery for a long time. My breasts were large enough that they bothered me. I didn't have a ton of back pain like some people do, but now that I've already had the surgery, I realized that I had more back pain than I knew kind of at the time. I'm so much more comfortable now, and my posture is different. So now I can kind of tell that I was being literally weighed down before, and it was bothering my back. I was troubled by not being able to wear what I wanted. I was really limited in what I could wear. I was always so jealous of the women who have little tank tops on and they don't have to worry about looking obscene in them. And so I, for aesthetic reasons mostly, decided to get a breast reduction. My breasts were quite large. They were low, they were hanging. Oh my gosh, y'all, honestly, I feel like they were almost to my stomach, and I just wasn't comfortable with that anymore, and I wanted to do something about it. So I have been thinking about getting a breast reduction for a long time, and I finally kind of decided on the idea. Now, this is not gonna hurt as far as my pageant goes. It's not gonna hurt when it comes to fitting into an evening gown or a bathing suit. But I didn't do it because of the pageant. I want to be clear about that. There's a lot of controversy about surgery, and especially about breast surgery in the pageant world. I know that during the last Miss Universe, one of the contestants was really vocal about having had breast surgery and really regretting it, and she felt like she'd been pressured into it because of the pageant industry. So I do want to be really careful about saying that this was not for the pageant, and I do not think you need breast surgery in order to do a pageant. But because of my pageant, I am on a journey to changing my body, and so I felt like I needed to be upfront with all of you about this, that I had done this. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know that and be transparent about it. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the surgery itself, because my hope is that perhaps this video can serve as informative for women who are also considering a breast reduction, because I know it's not an easy decision to have elective surgery, and so it's probably good to hear about it from other people who've been through it. So I want to be able to tell you about my experience so that you can learn from it. So I decided I wanted to look into doing this. I hadn't made up my mind, but I thought, well, let me meet with a surgeon and see how it goes. So the first step was to find a surgeon. And I am in Northern Virginia, which is the Washington, D.C. area, and I knew I wanted a female doctor. I'm not sure that's reasonable or fair, but it's just kind of how I feel. So I wanted a female surgeon. So I was looking for a female surgeon. I was looking for someone who would be close by, that I didn't have to travel too far to see. And I was looking for someone who was going to be good and is interested in breast surgery, because a lot of cosmetic surgeons do a lot of procedures, and some of them are more interested in doing facelifts, some of them are more interested in breast reconstruction, some of them are more interested in, whatever. So I wanted someone who was interested in doing breast surgery, and I found Gloria Duda, and she is absolutely wonderful. She's here in McLean, Virginia, and she was listed as one of Washingtonian Magazine's top docs. And that always, I don't know, seems kind of like a good thing to me. If a doctor's listed in there, at least I know that their peers respect them. So I went to see her. I made a consultation. The consultation fee was $100, and then that fee is taken out of the cost of the surgery later should you decide to have surgery. And what happened when I went for my consultation was I met with the doctor, and I took my top off and she looked at my breasts and we talked about what my goal would be, what my expectations would be. And I had told her, well, they're like a triple D right now, and I'd be happy if they were a B or a C and lift it up a bit. And she said, that's great. You have good expectations. We could definitely do that. One thing I want to mention here is that like I mentioned, I did not have a ton of back pain. I really didn't have medical reasons to do this. So I did not pursue having my insurance pay for it. It probably would have taken a year of like medical documentation to even have a go at that. So, and I did want to have it done before the pageant, and I just kind of wanted it done. So, and also I just feel like, honestly, I am doing this for aesthetic reasons, not for medical reasons. So I didn't pursue that. And what that did for my surgeon was allow her to kind of do what she wanted to do when it came to taking some of the volume out of my breasts. Because apparently if you are having your insurance pay for surgery because you're having surgery because it's causing you back pain, it's causing you some kind of medical problems, a lot of times the insurance companies will require that a certain amount of volume be taken out. And we didn't have that requirement. So my surgeon was able to kind of just do what was going to look best. So that was great. That made me happy that we didn't have any constraints in that area. So we talked about that. She looked at my breasts, figured out kind of a strategy as far as what she would do, and asked me if I had any questions. And I feel like I probably should have had a ton of questions, but I really didn't. I was just kind of emotionally feeling it out, I think, going to the consultation and talking to her. But it was good to know that my goals would probably be pretty easily attainable. So the one question I had for her was, okay, well, how much is this going to cost me? And she kind of smiled and laughed, and I think that's everybody's big question, right? But it's actually not a question she answers, it's a question someone in her office answers. So I met with one of her folks who work in her office, and they printed out an estimate for me, and they said the estimate would be good for about 6 months. So I will actually grab the folder they gave me. Here's the folder they gave me, and it had the information inside of it. And yeah, here's my estimate of surgical fees. My estimate was a total of $8,875. So the procedure fee was estimated at $5,800, anesthesia fees estimated at $1,375, and the facility fee was estimated at $1,800. So all isn't said and done yet because I haven't paid for the anesthesia fees yet, but my actual breast reduction fee was less than that. It was $5,200. And my facility fee was actually more than $1,800. It was $2,070. And I don't have the anesthesia fee in yet, but it looks like it's going to be right around where that estimate was, close to $9,000. And that's what I expected. So I decided I'm going to do this. So what happens when you decide you're going to do it is you make another appointment and you go back to the doctor. And I went back to the doctor and for my pre-op appointment, and her assistant took a lot of photographs. That felt awkward. At one point she said, okay, I'm going to take a picture of your face just so that's not weird in your chart that there's just pictures of breasts. And I thought, well, it's weird to have my face in there too with a bunch of pictures of breasts, but whatever, we'll take whatever pictures you need. So we did a lot of photographs, and then the doctor came in and we talked about the same things that we talked about at my first appointment, about the goals and about what to reasonably expect. And she talked about being able to lift my breasts up, which made me very happy because they were feeling very low. And she kind of actually grabbed one and lifted it up and said, it'll look about like this. And I thought, perfect. That's up. It's standing up. That's what we want. And so I had that appointment. She asked me if I had any questions. And at that point, I really did have some questions. I had questions about working out because I've been working out with a trainer. That's going awesome. That'll be a later episode. I have the #1 personal trainer on Pageant Planet, and he's amazing. So we'll talk about that later. But so I had questions about when can I work out? So we talked about that pretty extensively, like what the post-op period would be like and how much I can or can't exercise. And then we scheduled my surgery. So that was the pre-op appointment, and preparing for surgery, there were some things I had to do. I had to give up. So there are certain medications and supplements you have to give up. I regularly was taking melatonin, and apparently you can't have melatonin leading up to surgery. I forget if it causes a bleeding problem or an anesthesia problem, one of the two, but so I had to give that up. That was a little scary because I kind of rely on it to sleep, but I actually ended up doing fine. No aspirin or NSAIDs leading up to the surgery, only Tylenol. So they give you some guidance as to what kind of medications and supplements you can and can't take. And that you need to eat healthy and exercise and, be in, generally healthy condition for your surgery. And they also advised me to take 2 things in advance: a vitamin C supplement to promote healing, and an arnica supplement. And arnica is helpful for bruising. So I got the arnica supplement. They didn't have that at CVS. I had to get it at Amazon. So I took those 2 things for several days before the surgery in preparation. Then the night before the surgery, I had to take a shower with Hibiclens. That's like an antibacterial soap type thing that they give you when you are gonna have surgery. And the next morning, we got up at the crack of dawn. My husband drove me. My surgery was scheduled for 7:30, and that meant a 5:30 arrival time. So we got there at 5:30 and to the surgical center, and we got checked in. And a lot of the rest of it is a bit of a blur because the anesthesia kind of wipes stuff out. But I remember going back into the area where they take you before your surgery, and there was a lovely nurse who did my pre-op stuff. She put in an IV for me, gave me some wipes to wipe myself down with, some stuff that I guess helps sanitizes you for the surgery. And I don't remember a heck of a lot else. At some point, I believe my husband was allowed to come back. Now I remember this. And the surgeon came in and was like, okay, I'm ready to draw on you, because they take a marker and make all kinds of markings all over your chest so that they know what they're doing when they get in there to the surgery. And my husband was mortified. And the doctor's PA was with her. I think it was her PA. Or maybe it was a nurse, but told my husband, you can look at the wall if you want. It's like, heaven forbid he see my breasts out. We've been together 17 years, but whatever. So he turned away, and the doctor made all kinds of marking on me. And at that point, it felt like, ooh, this is starting to get real. And then I sat down and I waited for a while, relaxing. And then they were like, we're ready for you to go to surgery. You're going to walk into surgery. We don't take you on a gurney here. And I was like, okay. And they gave me, I stood up and I walked out into the hallway, and of course I have a hospital gown. It was tied in the back with nothing underneath. And I walk out, and the nurse goes, oh, here's a blanket, and put it around me because I was walking down the hall. So you walk to surgery in that surgical center. So I walked in, and looked like an operating room, big lights on the ceiling, and really just kind of a big white room. And there was a table there for me to get onto. And they'd already given me some pain meds or something, so I was already a little bit loopy. And I remember thinking, that table's too small for me to get on. But somehow I got on it. And I remember I had to scooch all around. And that's the last thing I remember. The next thing I remember is they were upset with me in recovery because I wasn't waking up. I did not want to wake up from the anesthesia, and that was, I guess, an issue. Most of the people who were having surgery there were in the recovery room for like an hour, and they were gone. I was there for 4 hours because I just kept falling asleep, and they couldn't wake me up. And I know my surgeon had gone and done another surgery And she was walking by and she saw me there and she asked one of the nurses, what is she still doing here? And they were like, she's not being a good patient. She won't wake up. Then I noticed I had pain. That kind of woke me up. And my doctor came in and they had put me in a post-surgery bra and had dressed my incisions. And I don't know if I was bleeding through or what. I was so out of it, I don't know why she did this. But the surgeon came in and had a nurse assist her and got me out of the bra I was in and took off my dressings and put fresh ones on and put me into another bra. And I'm not sure, I don't know if I bled in it or what, I don't know what happened because I was so out of it. But that woke me up when the surgeon came back in and did, bra number 2 on me and was like, why is she still here? Why won't she wake up? That woke me up. That actually woke me up. And I was kind of over the anesthesia at that point. So then I was ready to go home. When I got home, I did, however, fall asleep again. So I was given gabapentin, which is for nerve pain, to take home, and oxycodone. And so for day 1, the day I went home, I took the oxycodone and the gabapentin as instructed. It really did hurt, but I still felt pretty out of it, and I fell asleep at home. You need to lay propped up on your back in the bed. You need to lay propped up. And I also went for walks. You're supposed to go for walks. So every 2 hours, my husband would come get me and we'd go for a 10-minute walk. And then I'd lie back down because I was still out of it. And then the next day, I really felt the pain and I had drains in. I should tell you about the drains. If you're here to hear about breast surgery, you need to hear about the drains. So when I came out of surgery, I had a drain coming from each breast. And what that is was a little tube with a little bulb type thing on the end of it that collects fluid. Fluid is basically blood, y'all. It looks red. So if you're scared of blood, just be aware that you're gonna have that. And so when I was home, those little bulbs were collecting bloody fluid and I was supposed to drain them and measure how much I'm draining out every time I drain it out. And I had a little log where I would log how much fluid came out. So that was the next day. I was doing my drains. I was taking my oxycodone and my gabapentin and really just kind of relaxing and taking the walks like I was supposed to take. And I really couldn't do much else. I was really still kind of out of it and it hurt. Although I will say that the pain wasn't anywhere near as bad as I thought it would be, but it did hurt. So day 2 after the surgery, that morning I had an appointment with my doctor's medical assistant and she took the drains out, thank heavens, because those are gross and uncomfortable. And she redressed my wounds and she taught me how to dress them myself with 4x4 gauze pads and some Bacitracin. And said, okay, for a week, you're gonna be redressing these wounds and putting the Bacitracin on. You just put it on here and then close up your bra and you wear your bra 24/7. And do that for a week. In a week, if the little surgical tape that's covering your incisions hasn't come off, take it off. So after a week, I did that. It grossed me out. It freaked me out. I did not want to pull those little steri strips off. But it was fine. I did it and it was fine. And now I'm not putting Bacitracin, I'm putting Aquaphor on what will be my scars. And I go back to the doctor for a follow-up next week. I think on Tuesday. So yeah, I'm healing. I feel pretty good. I had my surgery on Monday the 19th. And it is now, as I'm recording this, it is July 30th, and I haven't taken any Tylenol today or anything. Oh, that's something else I should mention. I only took the oxycodone for 2 days. After that, I switched to Tylenol. Probably could have switched to Tylenol before that. My pain just really hasn't been that bad. And today I haven't taken any at all. Like as I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's like, oh yeah, I could use some Tylenol, but I'm not in so much pain that I'm in little enough pain that I haven't thought of it till now. So I've gone the whole day without any Tylenol and it's been fine. So that's where I am. As far as results, I am absolutely thrilled. I am so happy with how things turned out. Everything is still kind of swollen. It's, you know, I don't really know exactly what the final product is going to look like yet because everything is still swollen and bruised and that kind of thing. But I'm absolutely thrilled with how I feel. My posture has already changed. I'm sitting up straight, and I will tell you my big regret, and that's just that I didn't do it sooner. That's really it. Only regret that I didn't do it sooner. I wish I had. I'm so much more comfortable, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. So if you have any questions about breast reduction surgery, feel free to ask in the comments down below. Happy to answer any questions. And yeah, like I said at the beginning of this video, I just wanted to be really transparent, given that this is my pageant channel, and the biggest reason I'm doing the pageant is for body transformation. I need some motivation in that department, and so I didn't feel like I could transform my body this significantly without being transparent about doing it. So yeah, that's the big reveal this week. I had breast reduction surgery. So like I said, any questions, put them in the comments below. I did have something really wonderful happen today that was pageant related that I am so happy about. I feel like I'm going to be walking on air for the next week over it, or maybe even longer. So I might be talking about that in a future video very soon. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Come back, and I will promise again that I'm going to try and learn video editing so that y'all will have to, so that y'all will get to stop seeing me reach out and turn this video off. It's so awkward, but I gotta do it because I don't know how to edit. Bye, see you next time.